Yeah, and just before I start, I saw the registration list. I saw there were some people from BC, some people from Ontario, and also people from the States. Some of the examples I use here are more related to BC in terms of neighborhoods I use to talk about keywords. I'll try to throw in some Ontario knowledge that I have, which is not very extensive, but I'll highlight that once I get there. All right, I'm gonna get started. So if people join me later, this this webinar will be available for you guys to watch again. Right after this, you're gonna get an email with the recording. We're gonna talk about some links and some free tools that's available by Google that can help you in your online marketing. And we're also gonna send you those links. So without further ado, let's get started here. All right, so the agenda for today, I'm gonna briefly talk about who we are and why we're doing this. I'm going to spend 5 minutes doing a crash course on marketing. I know some people have contacted us in the past. They don't have a lot of knowledge in digital marketing. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. So once I get to the client journey process, the strategies that we take to build an online campaign, we can all be on the same page. I'm also going to highlight like 5 steps to successful ads, and then open up to questions. So for questions, if you have questions along the way, feel free to add to the chat. As I said, we have 2 moderators. They'll be able to respond most of your questions. But if they don't, or is towards the later end of the webinar, I will address them all, and we can all be kind of informed. Because the question you have might be someone else's question as well. So even if you send privately, we'll try to address here. All right, so about Soul Pepper, so who we are. So first of all, we are a digital marketing agency. We've been in business since 2013. Business like law firms, sole practitioners. We also have quite a few clients in the health industry, so dentists, physiotherapists, chiropractors, and then we have a handful of e-commerce clients. So everything we do here is to, I think, the best way I would describe what we do, we're very lead generation focused. Most of our clients, they're looking to grow their practice, their business, and the way they want to do this is by bringing more clients, and that's where our expertise lie. This is our team. We have a team of about 15 people. Lucas on the far right, you can see the top right corner. Mahan and Catherine, they are in the chat as well as moderators. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. So one of my main jobs at Soul Pepper, I work with managing most of our clients and our account managers as well. So my job is to create the strategies and optimize their campaigns to make sure they're performing well. So here, just a quick, some of the certifications in what we call our badge of honor. So the top left one is the Google Premier Partner. So this badge is given to very few selective agencies based on their performance, on the type of clients they have, the number of clients they have, and just the ongoing work we do with Google. So what that does is that we have dedicated Google specialists that work with our accounts specifically. And we also have early access to Google tools that are not available to everyone yet to test them out, or beta programs that we can use to help our clients leverage before most people get access to them. The bottom left here, it's something we're very proud of. We have, if you look us up on Google, you see that we have almost 40 reviews, all 5 stars from previous and current clients. We're very proud of that. On the bottom right, we were voted the 27th fastest startup in Canada for all industries, not just marketing. The reason we have this up here is because everything we do for ourselves, we do for our clients. So growth is very important for our business, and we're going to make sure that's reflective for our clients as well. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Glassdoor, the green one on the right side in the center. So Glassdoor is a platform where employees can rate their employers. You might have that even if you're not aware of it. So we do, and that's something we're very proud of as well. We have, I think, about 20 5-star reviews from current and previous employees. And all this shows is that we have a really good work environment, a happy team, and we're strong believers that a happy team will do great work, and ultimately that will be beneficial for our clients. But that's enough about us. Let's get to what we're all here for. So the goal of this webinar is pure educational. We want to provide you with some tools and guidance to help you exceed on your online marketing. I won't be technical in the terms of how to set up an actual campaign, how to create an ad using Google Ads. I think there are a lot of information and just guidance from Google themselves on how to do that. What I'm going to talk about here today is about the strategy, like how your mindset and framework come into this before you go in and implement and set up the campaigns. So a quick 5-minute crash course here. Google. People use to search anything they want online, to look up services, products, reviews. And then within Google search, there are a lot of ads. So as you can see here, I just did a test search here for best criminal lawyer in Vancouver. So you can tell they're ads because there's a label that says ad on the top left of each listing. And Google allows 4 ads to be on the top of the page. For you to show up here, you must pay Google directly. So this is called SEM, which stands for Search Engine Marketing. So it's you doing marketing in search engine platforms. So you have full control of what happens here because they're paid placements. So you can decide the headline, the description, the phone number that comes up, and additional links as well. So this here, they're map listings. For you to show up here, you must optimize your Google My Business page and your website for local search. So therefore, they're called local search. You can see that the first one is an ad, but the bottom 3, we call this the 3-pack. So they're the most prominent business based on their reviews, on your location from where you're searching. So based on your geographic location and the website's performance and the Google My Business page optimization, you come up with the top 3 here. And then underneath the ads and underneath the local search, the maps, we have the organic listings. So this one here, they're organic listings. And for you to show up here, you must optimize your website for specific keywords and build offsite links. The other thing here, so we did a webinar last week. Some of you might have been might have seen already, but it was specific about search engine optimization, and it's super helpful. I won't touch on this a whole lot today. I'll focus specifically on the ad side of things. So this is a Google My Business page. So I mentioned this earlier, and what this does, this is a free page that's provided by Google for any businesses. So the best thing you can do here is to come and make sure all the information is up to date, optimized, has links to your website, has the right address, because this will help your online presence with Google. So these are display ads. So display ads are basically image ads that show up in websites. The example here we're using here is Toronto Stars, but it could be CBC, CTV. There are a lot of food blogs that food blogs or blogs in general, like lifestyle, sports websites as well. That depending on what people search for, your ads will come up on those websites. And then we also have remarketing. So remarketing is a different type of display ads. So the display ads for prospecting, which is the previous version, you're targeting people based on their behavior and demographics. Remarketing ads, you're targeting people that visited your website. I'm sure in some extent, if you have already have seen this happening. If you go to Amazon, you add a product to your cart and you don't buy, and then you go on to do something else, you have that product following you around. So it's the same thing. We wouldn't be doing it with the same intensity as Amazon does. Wouldn't be as annoying, but there's different strategies we can do, and they can be very, very effective. You can target anyone. So here's an example of we targeting someone. So in this scenario here, this is for display ads. We're targeting male, 55 plus, who's a parent. They are an avid investors, business professional. They're into banking and finance, and they're dog lovers. So the way Google knows all this information is based on what kind of websites they're visiting, what kind of information they're looking for online, if they have a subscription for pet food, all those things that can build someone's profile, and we can use that to target them. You can target them anywhere as well. So the example here is Vancouver specifically, just the city limits. You can see like within the city of Vancouver, you can reach about just over 4 million people. You can be more granular. You can target people based on postal codes as well, neighborhoods, or a radius location. So you can say a 5-kilometer radius from your law firm, for example. And this is a conversion-focused landing page. So this is different than your website. I will go into more details on that later on, but it's basically something that we use just for the ads. So when we do online ads, we don't like sending people to your website. We prefer sending them to a landing page because you have a better conversion, like more success in getting people to contacting your firm. And I will explain a little bit more on that later on as well. All right. We'll do like a quick recap here. So you run ads on Google search. We call that SEM. You can optimize your site for Google doing SEO, search engine optimization. You can run banner ads across the web. So doing display, what we call prospecting. Market to past website visitors through remarketing, and use a unique page with one main purpose, which is for people to contact you using a landing page. So this is kind of the high-level summary of everything we're doing that we can do online. So digital marketing today. So this presentation was kind of put together before the pandemic that we're all going through, but it is still very, very applicable. So let's go through here. Yeah, so I do have a poll for you, a question for everybody, so we can get some engagement. So of the time that people spend with media, that being traditional or digital, being newspapers, billboards, and digital in Canada, what percentage is spent with digital media? So let me add the poll here, and you guys let me know what do you think. Let me just add. Yeah, so just I'll wait a minute for you guys in the chat. There should be a poll that you guys can answer, I believe, or there's a poll tab on the left. So if you think out of the 100% of interaction with media, if 26 goes towards digital or 87, and just like a little thing to keep in mind, this is before the pandemic. So I think it will be higher now, but so think up to February at this point. So I'll wait a little bit longer here. I see some votes coming in. It keeps changing. Currently, 64.5 and 87 are on the top. Very, very interesting. Oh, it's changing. I'll wait 10 more seconds. Let you guys cast your vote. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's still coming in. And I'm going to close it. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see the results, but 20, let's see here. Oh, let me go to the next one here. Well, this is what the poll, so let me see the numbers for what you guys said. Oh, actually, I can't see the results right now, but so the actual number is the one that was voted the least. So the number is 48.5% of time. So almost half the time that people interact with media is towards digital media. Keeping in mind this is pre-pandemic, so I think this number will be slightly, if not significantly higher now. So it just shows that how media consumption is shifting over the years. So we have this this data here, again, pre-pandemic, so you'll be more emphasized now. But in 2012, only 33% of the engagement with the media was with digital. So TV, it was by far the most prominent. And in 2018, digital became almost 50%. So if you look at 2019 and now like 2020 with this situation we're going through, I think this number will be much, much higher, which is that we don't have proper research and studies conducted. So this is the number we're currently using right now. But it just comes to show that people are online more than ever. And the other thing is that we don't go online, we live online. So everything we do, the way we interact with online media, looking at how to fix things, recipes, directions, and just how to things, I think that has become part of the norm. And it's something we should consider. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so reaching the right customer in the right moments. I think this slide here can relate to a lot of people. It definitely relates to myself. The first thing I do when I wake up, I check my phone to see the time, see if there's any urgent messages, even before I get up. So there's one interaction right there off the bat as the first thing I do. So with that in mind, I don't have a poll for this one here, but you can think out loud on your wherever you are. So in a day, how many times do you think an average person unlocks their phone? So I'll let you think for that for 5 seconds. Do you think someone unlocks their phone for 20 times a day, 30, 50, 80, 100 times? The actual number is 150 times. So people check their phones in average 150 times per day. That could be to check the time, to check the messages and emails, whatever they may be. So all that tells us that we have a lot of information, a lot of data of how people consume data or information these days. We spend a lot of times on our phones, and this is just their phones, not including laptops, computers, desktops, when they're at work. So we spend a lot of time in front of like a digital media. And the other thing for us to consider when we're looking at online behavior, yeah, Christine is surprised here. Like it is a surprising number. Attention span is getting shorter. So again, this was done way before the pandemic we have today. This was a study done by Microsoft. So they did a test to see the attention span for humans, and in 2000, like 20 years ago, the attention span was 12 seconds. A goldfish is 9 seconds. And for humans, 13 years later, we dropped to 8 seconds. So our attention spans today, it's shorter than a goldfish, which slightly worries me now that I'm doing this webinar for 45 minutes. Hopefully you guys can stay engaged and retain most of what I'm talking about here. And this was like 7 years ago. I don't know if the number has gone down further than it does, but we can assume. I don't know how much lower it can get. And even further, like an online impression, it lasts 3 to 5 seconds. So people see your ad for 3 to 5 seconds. So an example for this would be how you interact with social media. When you're scrolling through your newsfeed on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, if you see an ad, like how long you spend looking at it, we'll be surprised if it's more than 5 seconds. People scan really fast and just keep going. I think there's a huge difference there. So we want to make sure we get our message across within 3 seconds, basically. So working on the messaging and the ad copy and talking to people at the right time is crucial here. And the other point that I'll make on this one here before I get to the juicy part of this webinar is that back in the day, we couldn't reach a lot of people, but we had their undivided attention. So you can see the first picture here, people just sitting in front of the TV, taking it all in. So that's all they did. There's one channel that they consume media. But now you can see the other pictures, a really good visual representation of what happens today is like, we can reach so many people. I shown an earlier slide just in Vancouver, we can reach over 4 million people through Google. But their attention, it's shorter, it's scarce. It's like we have 3 to 5 seconds to make an impact with them. So planning your marketing strategy is crucial. You don't want to just put ads out there for the sake saying like, hey, we're family lawyers, contact us. That may not have the same impact for most people. So you want to plan and create a strategy to reach them at the right time at the right moment. So can it be done? Can you achieve attention, reach, and conversion success? And that conversion success being bringing leads to your firm. Can you get people looking for the services you offer to contact you? The answer is yes, but it takes some planning and some work. And that's what we're going to talk about now. So we call this section the Marketing Funnel 101, the digital strategy based on your client's needs. So this is the marketing funnel. I'm sure a lot of you have seen some sort of variation for this, if not for marketing, for something else. So this is a way we use to label the client journey. So the marketing funnel is a way to break down the decision-making process for a prospective client from the time they didn't even know they need a lawyer to the point they need a lawyer right now. So there's a wide range there of needs. So the goal here is to nurture the decision-making process and convince the clients that your firm is the best choice for them. And just like an interesting fact here, did you know that on average it takes 7 interactions before a person takes a buying action? So all that means is that someone is going to interact with your law firm online 7 times in average before they contact you. So this could be, they might be looking you up on social media. They might be going through your website 1, 2, 3, 4 times. They might be looking at your Google reviews. They might be looking up where you're located. So there's a lot of different touch points that people take before they contact your firm. So how you come up to them at each specific time, it's what's going to make the difference. One analogy I'm going to make here before I continue is that think of yourself walking down Main Street of wherever you are. You're heading to a meeting, but you have like an hour to kill. And then you see a new store that popped up, that opened up, and they sell jeans. And you walked in just to like kill time. But the salesperson's on top of you saying, "Hey, you want to try this one here? It's your size. If you buy today, you can get 50% off your second pair." And they're like, "No, just browsing, just killing some time here." But the person keeps bringing you new pants and giving you offers, and it's annoying. You're gonna be annoyed. You're not gonna be happy. You're gonna leave and be like, "Not going back there," because you weren't ready to make a purchase. But let's say you're walking down the same place and heading to a meeting, 15 minutes, and you spill coffee all over your pants, and you can't go to a meeting like that. So you want to go in, get a new pair of pants, change, and then head to your meeting. But the salesperson is nowhere to be found. They are on break. You can't find your size. When you do, the cashier register is not there. They're actually located on the 4th floor, and you have to go up the stairs because the elevator is broken. And it's just like, it's a poor experience. And that's the same thing that people experience online with your website. If they're just browsing around, they don't want to be bombarded with "contact us now, talk to us, we can help you," because they're not ready for it. But when they're ready for it, we want to make sure it is an easy and smooth process for them to press a button and make a quick phone call, for them to send a form that's short and sweet, and you can get back to them within 24 hours. So this is how we use the funnel, is to identify those moments. So I'll go through each of the 4 stages. There are funnels that have more stages than this, but we're simplifying to those 4. They're the most important ones. And then I'm going to go talk about what they look like in action. So the first stage is awareness. So prospective clients here, they're not actively looking for a lawyer, but they meet the profile of your clients. So an example would be, you're a family lawyer in Toronto, and you work with a specific neighborhood, like the east side of Toronto. And then you know for a fact that 90% of your clients, they are, 100% of your clients, they are married. They are over the age of 50. They all went to college. They all live in this specific neighborhood, and they make an X amount of money per year. So you can create ads targeting people that fit those demographics, but are not looking for a lawyer right now. But you know there's a good potential they might need your services. So you just like plant the seed. Say, "Hey, we can help you if you need." You might not know that you need us, but just put it out there. So it's very subtle. You're not being a pushy salesperson here. You just give them their space they need. Interest phase. Prospective clients are searching for law firms or services near them, but not for a specific firm. So an example here, they're looking for immigration lawyers in Vancouver, immigration lawyers in Mississauga, immigration lawyers in Waterloo. So they're specific service in a specific place, but they're just starting the search. They know they need an immigration lawyer. They know where they're located. So now they're beginning the search, and you want to make an impression here on them. You want to impress them, show that you have the credentials, the credibility to help them with whatever they need. And then it comes to consideration. At this point, they know who you are. They've seen your website. They've had a couple interactions, but now they're trying to decide between 5 different law firms, which one would be the best for them. So I think it makes a huge difference. Like if you have a good online experience, if your website is smooth, has the information they're looking for. But the most important is that if they can find you. If you're a small law firm or a sole practitioner, or even like a medium-sized firm, it's really hard to compete with big firms that have large budgets with their for their SEO, for the search engine optimization, and rank high for those people. So the best, almost the only way you can get in front of them is through the ads, because Google dedicates like the first 4 spots for ads, and those ads, Google doesn't care the size of your firm, how much experience you have. They're gonna look how well optimized your campaigns are. If the user have a good experience with the ad copy, or the website or the landing page, and it's going to become like an equal fair fight. You could be a sole practitioner doing better ranking and paying less than a large firm. And then the last one here, which is arguably the most important one, is the conversion phase. Once people decide they need help with a personal injury lawyer and they decide to go with you, how easy is it for them to contact you? How many, like the example I used earlier, are they going to have to walk four flights of stairs to get to you to make a purchase, or is it going to be quick and easy? It's right there, tap, check out, and leave. Your receipt is going to be emailed to you. It's smooth and quick transaction. So that's we want to like reduce the amount of friction here. So with all that being said, one size doesn't fit all, and that's pretty obvious, but it's good to highlight. So there's so many variables here, including not just from the ads side of things, but also in your business. The way you operate is different from someone else. Some law firms offer a 30-minute free consultation, others don't. Some of them offer virtual consultations. I think right now you should all be offering virtual consultations if you're not already are. But the way you promote your business, the way you interact, the way you set up those campaigns will be dependent on the geographic location you're targeting, the type of practice you're offering. So a quick example here, if someone updating a will will be a very different process than someone going through a wrongful death case or a personal injury or a divorce. Just that the time to go to the case, the return investment will be different. So the way you approach this will also going to be different. So you can use the data to understand who your clients are, where they are, not just physically, but also virtually. Which websites do they visit? What kind of online behavior they have, and also look what they want. Are they looking for, if you're looking for immigration lawyer, which is so broad, are they looking just for a visa application? Are they looking for a permanent residency application? Are they looking to sponsor? Is it a company trying to sponsor 10 different employees to come work in Canada? So you can see how that can be very different type of services with a very different return on investment. So we want to use all the information that we have to first set up your campaigns and then optimize them. So here's some interesting information. I pulled this out yesterday, so this is as current as it can be. So Google has this tool called Google Training Terms. We'll send you the link after the webinar. So I split them up between Canada and the US because I know there are some attendees here from the States as well. So I'll look at Canada first. So I did a search for the topic lawyers, and you can see that workers' compensation had an 800% increase in volume in the last few weeks, followed by nursing homes, traumatic brain injury, wrongful death claim. So I think some of them, I think a lot of them are very related to the pandemic that's happening right now. So the wrongful death, see if there's any claim of that, because there's a lot of cases coming up from the COVID-19, workers' compensation. I think there's a lot of different niche markets for lawyers that's been growing a lot. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, almost 50% of our clients, they are lawyers, and we talk to them all on a weekly basis to make sure they're supported. And some of the information that we gather is that specific practices have started doing really, really well. So wills and estate has seen a drastic jump in leads coming through, because people, they want to make sure that wills are up to date in case something happens to them, in case something happens to their loved ones. Employment law, they're getting a massive demand in intake calls. They haven't translated into actual cases, so we actually had to do some build a specific strategy just to receive the large volume of questions, and then we can filter to them, take people's information, and follow up with them based on their needs. So there's a lot of opportunities coming through here. We talked to one of our personal injury lawyers, a few of them actually, that deal a lot with car accidents. So they've seen a decline in claims just because there's less people driving, there's less accidents happening, but there's still some coming through. On the US, the top two here, we see personal injury like slip and fall, dog bite as well. And then 3, 4, and 5, they're just unrelated to an actual law practice, but they're trained in somehow. Kim Kardashian, I think her dad was a lawyer, so I don't know if that's something to do with her being the top 3 here. And then the Lincoln Lawyer film series also trained in here. I guess people were having more time to watch movies, but their list is more extensive than this. It goes up to 50. You can target by, I'm looking at cross country. You can go by state or province, by city as well, and you can have different time frames. This next slide here is a very interesting one. Excuse me. We are looking at every time we do ads or a campaign for our clients, and that's the same for you. The first thing you should do is a keyword research. So you can do keyword research using Google Ads. There is a section there within the platform itself that you can do a keyword research, and you can see which terms are most popular historically. Like, so in the last 12 months, those are the average monthly searches for these specific terms. And you can see the competition as well. You don't necessarily want to go after the most popular terms because sometimes they're the most competitive. So you want to cater to niches and also look at how competitive they are in terms of cost per click. So let me just show the next slide here. So the next slide, we can see how much it costs for you to be on the top of the page of Google with an ad. So as I mentioned earlier, there's 4 spots that you can have ads. For you to be on the bottom of the 4, so 3rd and 4th place, is the 4th column here. And then the last column is for you to be on the 1st and 2nd. Some of the numbers can be high and can be scary, but they shouldn't be discouraging you from moving ahead. And I'll explain why. So some of the terms we have here, so for you to be on the top of the page, it costs like $10, $12, which is very accessible. Others are a lot more competitive. So you're looking at like $86 per click here. But we also have to look now at your return on investment. So for an immigration lawyer working with a visa, so what is the return on investment on that? So not as high as a car accident claim that might come through. So if your return on investment is $500 or $1,000, in some cases maybe even like a lot more than that, paying like $80 per click, and you get 10 clicks, it's $1,000. But out of those 10 clicks, you get 1 or maybe 2 cases. The investment was well worthwhile. So this is just the first step we do that you should do when setting up your campaigns, is to see how much it's going to cost for you to start being competitive and for people to start seeing your ads. And then after you're running campaigns for a little while, you should start looking at it, how many cases you're getting from those campaigns, from those specific keywords, and then trying to tie it up on your return for each case. So even though the number might be high in terms of getting those leads, if the return on investment is worthwhile, you should most certainly keep doing it. So what does the marketing funnel look like when you're in action? So I think this is the more interesting part of the presentation. So as I mentioned earlier, the goal here in this phase is to increase your brand awareness. So people here, they're browsing through articles, they're browsing the internet, they're not ready to take an action. but you want to make sure they know you exist. The example of these ads here, they're dentist, but is the same for a lawyer. So clients are more likely to choose a firm they've already heard of before, they've already interacted with it somehow. The other thing, this display ads can have a direct impact on the number of searches on your law firm's name. So people might see a law firm display ads. They may not click on it, but they might go and Google it afterwards just to see who you are, where you're located, what kind of practices you do. At this stage, you don't want to be the pushy salesperson. So you don't want to be book now, contact us today. You're going to have softer calls to action, such as learn more, view hours, or meet the team. So that there's different ways you can just be more approachable here. The interest phase is more people looking for broader terms, still doing their research. So some examples that I have here is, do I need a lawyer to get a divorce? Employment lawyers cost. So looking up for the cost, they're still debating. You definitely want to make an impression here. They're not looking for a specific law firm. They're looking for a need, for a service. So we want to make sure if you do come up here, you provide them with the right message in the right time. And then this is the most interesting part that I find, which is the consideration phase. So people are looking for more specific service and using a more specific search term. So the example I'm using here is family lawyers in Burnaby. So Burnaby is a city just outside of Vancouver. If you're not familiar with it, will be similar to Mississauga, Waterloo, potentially. So when I do the search, family lawyers in Vancouver, in Burnaby, I use a tool from Google to pretend that I was physically located in Burnaby. And the top 2 ads that came up were from law firms located in Vancouver, like downtown Vancouver, which would be about, on a busy day, 30-minute drive from Burnaby. And they don't have offices in Burnaby. So if someone's specifically searching for a law firm in Burnaby, in the specific area they're in, they may not be willing to travel, or they might be looking at that place for a specific reason. So according to Google, the average cost per click for family lawyers in BC, here in this area, is $20. So if they get 5 clicks for searches like this, like family lawyers in Burnaby, in Richmond, all the neighboring cities of Vancouver, 5 a week is $100. And then in a month, they paid almost $500 for clicks. They're not high quality for them. So it's a lot of money to be spending on something that's like not as catered to them. Even if you don't have an office in Burnaby, you can still have ads here, but create a dedicated landing page for those terms that show that you can help them over the phone. You can go to their location, to their office. You can offer different services to cater to that. So you're reducing a barrier, you're catering to their needs. Another consideration phase is using display ads. It's doing the remarketing. So some of the examples that I have here, someone went to your website and didn't fill out a form. They're still early on their journey. So you want to see what kind of pages they visited. Do they spend a lot of time looking at your team profile pages? They're looking at your credentials. If that's the case, you want to create dedicated display ads highlighting your experience. Like, been in business for 20 years, we have a dedicated team that can help you succeed. All those, the language based on their behavior can make a huge difference for you as well. If your law firm offers 10 different practices, do like that 10 different practices, but someone spent a lot of time in family law, so you might want to remarket it to them, showing family law ads specifically, so it makes it more relevant to them. So, and at this stage, you want to use more like stronger calls to action, such as call today, or book an appointment, or schedule a call now. So all those terms are much more valid because they are ready. So at this point here, they have their pants covered in coffee. So you want to come back and make sure you're there for them. And the last one is the conversion phase. So as I said, this is arguably the most important phase of the funnel. Clients ready to book an appointment with you. They've already done their research, or they might be in an urgent need of a lawyer. So they haven't done the research, it's just in a lawyer ASAP. So is it easy for them to contact you? Is your phone number prominent? So this example that I have here, it says the firm's name, Near One Law. Sometimes competitors will bid on your name. So if someone searched for your law firm, their ads could come up and people could click on it and contact them without knowing they were contacting someone else. And all of a sudden you lost a very qualified lead. So highlighting that the phone number is accessible, easy to find. And then if they click on the ads, we want to make sure the landing page is optimized for that. So as I said, landing page is different than a website. So on the left side here, we have the website. So the website, you can see there's a lot of different actions the user can take. They can go to the lawyer's page, the services, FAQs, and all that does is that it takes people around. And because their attention spans are short, they might just get busy, they might get a call, they might be called to a meeting, and they leave their computers and don't take the action that we want them to take, which is to contact you, to send a form, or to make a phone call. On the right side, we have the top menus as well, but those menus won't take the user outside of the page. They're just going to scroll down the page, and the form will follow them. And the phone number at the top will always going to stay there. So it's easy for people to make to like contact them. The other thing here, so this landing page specifically is for personal injury. As you can see, it says it's very prominent on the page, so people know that's what they're looking for. Here's their phone number, and here's some trust factors. There's no free, no obligation case evaluation. Like remove any friction that they might have in contacting him. So this one is the website that he was using before, which doesn't have phone numbers. It doesn't emphasize what they do. It doesn't provide a lot of the main features that you would expect. And once we stop sending traffic to his website and start using a dedicated landing page, the number of conversions, the conversion rate increased to almost 50%. So all that meant is that people, like out of 10 people that went to his landing page, 5 contacted him. And once they contact him, it's a lot easier for him to help them schedule an appointment, bring them into the office, and then turn that into a case. And this is obvious, but it should be highlighted. You only get one first impression, so you want to make sure that you're not a pushy salesperson when you don't need to be, but you want to make sure you are there to help your clients when they need the most. So you need to craft your message for different times for different people. So just getting to the last section of this presentation. So we talked about we did a quick crash course. We talked about the marketing trends today, that attention spans are short. People interact with your business in average 7 times before they contact you. We've seen some examples of how you can set up your ads to make sure you're catering to the people that are at the right time. But now, what else can we do to build that up for you? So I think there's no cookie cutter solution for you to increase your number of leads. You need to truly understand your client needs and how they behave online. So that's crucial here. So the 5 steps to successful online ads, I'll break this down in a second, but you need to do your research. What are the trending topics, the trending terms on Google right now? What are people searching for? What do they need? Are you tracking how people interact with your website? Can you identify patterns out of that? And then optimize the campaigns accordingly. And then just keep improving. You don't want to set it up once and not touch your ads for months on end. You want to go back to it on a weekly basis to make sure the keywords that people are using, the conversions and the interaction is worthwhile, because legal marketing is competitive. Each click costs a lot of money, and you want to make sure you're not wasting money for unwanted terms and for your ads to show up for people that are not relevant. So do your research. We'll send some of these links afterwards, but use Google's keyword planner to come up with more popular keywords that you should be bidding on. Training tools to see what people are searching on Google now, what are they interested in, what are they looking for, and then plan your campaigns around your return on investment, not just the cost for each keyword. So some current ad rules and etiquette that's very applicable today. So with the pandemic we're living in, Google has a new policy around COVID-19 and coronavirus. So you cannot use the term COVID-19 in any of your ads, and you cannot bid on those terms. So if you set up any ads that says, we can help you during the COVID-19 pandemic, your ads will be disapproved and your account might get flagged. If you bid on them, those keywords will be suspended as well. And in addition to this policy, there's some etiquette that you should follow. This is being done by Google. We had a meeting yesterday with our dedicated Google reps to kind of narrow this down, because they're getting a lot of communication as well internally, and that get passed on to us. So check for insensitive words. You don't want to use spread, contagious, infectious, viral. Say like spread the word about how we can help you. That's not the best usage of some of those terms. Reword inapplicable calls to action. So if your ads are saying visit today, we're open, but your firm is closed, you might want to update that to contact us, schedule a virtual appointment. Using those terms, virtual appointment, we can help you from your home. That can resonate to people a lot more and make them feel more at ease in contacting you. And the last thing, be optimistic, but don't overpromise. The situation is changing, is evolving, and we don't know if it's going to get better anytime soon or which direction is going to go. So it's better to play safe than sorry here. The other part is that track your data. I cannot emphasize this enough. We see a lot of lawyers that have beautiful built websites. They look really nice. They have a lot of useful information, but they're not tracking with Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager. And those are free tools from Google. They require a little bit of technical setup, but once they're done, you'll be able to see what pages are most popular on your website, where people are coming from, which specific neighborhoods, cities, how much time they're spending on your website, and that will help you feel your marketing and guide your decisions in making specific campaigns. So this is super, super important. This is an example of a dashboard we do for our clients for their Google Ads. Google Ads, if you ever seen the dashboard, it is overwhelming. It can be confusing. And the reason for that is because they need to make sure everything is available for the most experienced person to go in and make the changes. But if it is not your full-time job, you don't have a lot of experience, it can be overwhelming. So having a separate dashboard, they can highlight the key metrics, like how much you're spending, how many clicks you're getting, the cost per conversion, and how many conversions you're getting month over month, to see if there's any seasonality play into this. Can make a huge difference for you to provide your optimizations based on your law firm, because this is what's happening online. But you're going to have a whole different set of information and data from your actual practice. So who are your customers? Who are turning to cases? So the third one here is identify patterns. Online marketing is all about data and how you optimize them for each specific stage of the funnel. Optimize your campaigns. So ensure the ad copy matches the keywords you're targeting. Keep your phone prominent in your website, and the forms short and sweet. And use all the tools available by Google to optimize your ads. So this is more applicable for today. So if you have a lot of different services you offer, make sure you're emphasizing, promoting the ones that can be executed virtually. There are a lot of things that can be done without going to a court, without meeting in person, like doing virtually. So emphasize those services. Make sure your phone number is up to date. If you're not working from your office, make sure you're forwarding your calls to your cell phone or your home phone so you can help people right away. And keep improving. Make sure everything is being optimized. You're checking everything at a weekly basis and providing those updates based on what's happening in the world today. All right, this is the last slide. It's just a little bit of an overview of everything we talked about today. Improve your online performance, like thinking holistically. Every step matters. People will have touch points with your firm online, looking for different services at different times. So make sure that the search terms are up to date, the keywords match your messaging, the landing page is optimized, the overall user experience is pleasant. They can find what they're looking for easy on the website or on the landing page. And your social media channels are also up to date, because that plays a role in how people in the decision-making process. Make sure every listing that you have is up to date. And thank you. We're just shy of an hour, so went a little bit longer than expected. I'm happy to stay a little bit longer here and answer any questions you may have. I'll try to see if there's been any questions. Let me know. I see one question that came earlier here from Danielle. So to set the Google My Business page, is this something I set up on my own? Yes, you can definitely set it up on your own. Mahan provided a link there. If you need more help, let us know. We're happy to help here. Oh yeah, and if you guys want to schedule an appointment, so we know there's a lot of things happening. It's hard to handle. We're offering a free 30-minute consultation with one of our account managers. So myself or Mahan will provide a link to that at the end of right after this webinar, so you can schedule an appointment. 30 minutes, just no commitment. As I said, this is an educational webinar. We want to make sure everyone is supported during this pandemic. There's a lot of business being affected. Our business has going through ups and downs as well, so we know what it feels like. And we do have a lot of experience and expertise in setting up and help companies grow their online presence. So this is the best way we can help. So if you have any questions, let us know. So how much budget do you need to get started? That's a question. It's a really good question, and it's almost like one of those questions that it depends. I'll give an example here. So if you're located in a less competitive market, let's say if you're in Mississauga or Burnaby, just outside of the big cities, you'll be a little less than the bigger ones. Depends on your practice as well. But I would say I wouldn't start with less than $1,000 per month towards media buy, towards your ad spend, just because the terms for keywords for lawyers are expensive. So some of them are like $10, $4. It goes from like $3 all the way to like $30, $40, we're definitely not going to be putting our budget towards the $30 ones. We're going to spread them out and see how they're performing. But you want to have enough data, enough clicks, enough information so you can optimize. So the bare minimum I would start would be $1,000. From our clients, we have clients that spend up to like $20K a month towards their ad buy because there's a demand. And the amount of cases they get from the ads justify their needs. So they're clearly like bigger law firms. They have several lawyers. But it's just for you to see that the amount you spend, it depends how many cases you can take, how many consultations you can have scheduled and on your demand. So that will play a big role in it. But again, it depends. You're very welcome, Murray. You're welcome, Danielle. If there's any other questions, now is the time, or I'll be happy to meet with you guys afterwards with a virtual consultation, 30 minutes with me or Mohan. Is there any information, another question that came in, is there any information about whether people click more on the top few ads versus the top few organically ranked? There are some studies so that talk about that. So there's no direct answer to that, but I think for any keywords that include a service or a product, so like anything, if someone's looking for an immigration lawyer, for example, there will be 4 ads first. So the first four results are always going to be ads. So for one of our immigration lawyers that we had in the past, just for this example, so for keywords, someone's looking for visa application, there will be no ads because all the information that will come up is from the government of Canada. So if you're bidding for visa application or work visa application, you won't get any information. But as soon as people add the term lawyer or consultation, the first 4 results are going to be ads. So for people to see your results, they're more likely to click on the ads than the organic results. But organic is still like super important. So it's kind of like a 50-50. I'm kind of going around here, but the way I'll kind of try to answer this here is that you should be doing ads if you don't have a strong, solid organic presence. And even if you do, you will get more clicks and more leads by doing ads, just because they'll be the first thing people see. And consider that the attention span is short. People might not scroll all the way down to the bottom. They might not know the difference between an ad or organic search. It is a huge venue for you to promote and get more exposure. Any idea whether this is a credit from CPD with the law societies? I don't know what CPD means, Danielle. If you don't mind, just break that up. But doing ads, it's completely fine. There's nothing against the rules or the law for me doing that. I think there's some guidelines that each law society will have. I know for BC and Ontario, they have some of the marketing regulations. They say you cannot say you're better than the other lawyers. You cannot say you're the best firm. So like any subjective term, like get the best service, or you cannot guarantee a win. So there's some guidelines, but there's no policy against doing ads. How long would the entire setup take, and can the ads run on a low budget during the COVID-19? 100%. So they can definitely run on a low budget on a specific geographic location. Low budget can be subjective as well. We wouldn't recommend going like lower than $30 per day, or like 10. It's hard. It depends on your practice. So I'll take that back. I won't give it an amount. If you're a personal injury lawyer, each click will be very expensive. So let's say if you have a $10 daily budget, but each click costs $15, you might not get any clicks. So you might not be spending any money at that time. I think that, yes, you should. The setup, I can speak for ourselves. It takes our specialist about 3 to 4 weeks to do 3 to 5 weeks to do a full setup, because we do a keyword research, we do a competitive analysis, we set up, we create a dedicated landing page, and that's what takes a big chunk of the time. And then set up and test the campaigns and launch them. They can be done quicker. So if you're not doing a full setup, if you're only doing one specific practice in a specific place, it can be quicker. But if you're doing a more holistic approach, it will take a few weeks to make sure we get it right. Let me see the other question here. Is there any way for Google to filter out spammy ad clicks? People that aren't really looking for services? Yes, it's a really good question, Adrian. So Google has its own tool that it can track if people are clicking on the same ad over and over. That any behavior that's suspicious, you will get flagged. And it's often that we see in the invoices that we get small refunds for those clicks. So Google is really good at that if you get like 5 clicks from a robot or from a competitor, just click on your ads to waste your money. One, they will get flagged, and those clicks will get refunded to you automatically. This webinar could qualify for professionalism training. Thank you. Thank you for that. Continuing professional development. Oh, okay. So I don't think it would. That's a good question. We're not set up in partnership with any law society to qualify towards the professional development hours. I think the best thing you can do is reach out to them and see. We're going to make this available. One thing that you can tell them is that this is not a sales pitch by any means. We're not giving a discount or prices. Like, yeah, we're offering a free consultation afterwards if you're interested. But the entire purpose of this here is to be educational. So hopefully you found this useful. We didn't want to do a lot of how to set up and go into the actual platform. I think at this point, we want to make sure we're taking a step back and approaching this in a holistic level, and that you can apply your data information that you already have towards your ads in the actual setup. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Those are really good questions, guys. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Okay, I think this is it. So yeah, it's been just an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you for taking the time. I think that if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out. Our team we're set up to help clients succeed, even no clients. Take this time to reach out to us if you want a free consult. We'll be happy to do it. And yeah, stay in touch. We're likely going to be doing more of this educational webinars in the coming weeks. We did one last week for SEO, for search engine optimization. So if you want to have access to that, let us know from the email you get today. And thank you. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And stay safe out there. And hopefully I will see you guys in the future in other webinars.